Mark Goldin has had to issue a strict warning to the People's National Party about the intolerance of corruption and any challenge that may be issued to his authority as president and leader of the opposition. Mark Goldin has sought to stamp his authority as president of the People's National Party. He told the National Executive Council that the opposition party would offer no haven to individuals who are involved in corruption, and also issued a warning to anyone who would want to challenge him for the leadership of the party. He said that the only place to do so is at the movement's annual conference. According to Mark Goldin, as the PNP leader, he has no tolerance for corruption. It is a cancer that will only damage their credibility to the Jamaican people. He further went on to state that they must make the right choices to give their party the best chance of winning the next elections. Mark Goldin, who was elected PNP president on November 7th, became the sixth individual to fill that vacancy. The vacancy was created after the resignation of Dr. Peter Phillips, who was partially blamed for the crushing defeat that the PNP suffered at the hands of Jamaica Labour Party. In his statement to the National Executive Council, before they elected a new chairman and a new general secretary for the PNP in St. Andrew, Mark Goldin, who last year was in support of Manchester Central Member of Parliament Peter Bunting during the 2019 Bunting Challenge era against Dr. Peter Phillips, said, "Do not take my sweetness for weakness. Weakness has no argument or place. If anyone wants to challenge my authority as party leader, that's fine, and the place to do so is at the party's conference." Mark Goldin's warning came with shouts of "hear, hear" and "one leader." Goldin further went on to add, "I will do whatever it takes to deliver on the mandate given to me by the delegates when they elected me as leader of the PNP. So my colleagues, we are going with Goldin. Mark my words." Goldin further emphasized that he did not seek the post of party president because of any hidden ambitions that he had harbored previously, but rather because he felt it was a sense of duty to do so. In his first set of comments, Goldin paid homage to Dr. Peter Phillips and others who came before him in the post of president. He further added that in going on to note that the party's crushing 14 to 49 seat defeat to the Jamaica Labour Party in the recently concluded September 3rd parliamentary elections. He also re-emphasized that it was full time that the party addressed the divisive internal issues which contributed to that massive loss. He further added that party members need to display respect in how they speak to each other, noting that these dangerous, scandalous and malicious remarks that were spattered on social media do not send the right message. He also pledged that the $15 million fund that he had promised to establish for party workers will be launched in December. The vote that came from the National Executive Council yesterday ended with former Vice President of the party and Member of Parliament for Kingston Eastern and Port Royal, Philip Paulwell, being elected as chairman. And everyone is wary of this announcement and the future that this result may bring. Dr. Dayton Campbell won the challenge to replace Julian Robinson as the party's general secretary. So, the old secretariat is gone. There is no more Julian Robinson as general secretary, and there is no more Fitz Jackson as chairman of the PNP. It is now Paulwell for chairman and Campbell for secretary. Philip Paulwell challenged Angela Brown-Burke for the post and emerged victorious with 153 votes. Dr. Dayton Campbell challenged Raymond Price and emerged victorious with 148 votes. Approximately 288 of the just over 300 delegates had came out to participate and voted in the elections. Paulwell, whilst basking in his victory, said that he had no hidden agenda nor any hidden hands to play. According to him, he was born in the party. He will stay in the party until he passes, and he is loyal to the party. He said that he is also loyal to the leader of the party, noting that he would be working to unite the party as well. When Dr. Dayton Campbell took the stage, there were shouts of the need for a recount from individuals who were aligned to Philip Paulwell. Campbell, however, said, "We have work to do. We need to ensure there is mentorship in place. Let us get to work." And we applaud him for that statement. It was mature of him. The continued issuance of malicious and scandalous statements and allegations coming from some PNP members and supporters, it is only natural for one to assume and recommend that these individuals are in need of some urgent assistance in terms of mental health evaluation and psychological assessment. Mark Golding has successfully managed to put in place a welfare program for PNP party workers who may have fallen on difficult economic times. Therefore, we are recommending that he puts in place an organizational-driven mental health program that will seek to provide psychological assistance and healing for some members of the PNP. Some of the statements that came out prior to the November 7th presidential elections were shocking, and even some statements that continued after Mark Golding was elected was astonishing to many. And statements that came out during this General Secretary and Chairmanship race for the PNP left many persons baffled. Many would recommend that even Phillips takes on the issue of becoming the first candidate to get the psychiatric evaluation to assess her psychological well-being. More than 12 months has passed and Ms. Phillips is still dwelling on the 2019 Bunting Challenge and the things that happened during that time. She has not moved on. She has not even recognized that the PNP has elected a new president and that she needs to respect the office of presidency. She is still trying to come to terms that Dr. Peter Phillips led the party to the most humiliating defeat of the PNP since 1980. But it is time for Phillips to move on because her leader has moved on. And if she wants to become a part of this new united PNP, then she has to move on. But maybe Mark Golding needs to put something in place to help her to move on. She has continued to behave in an unbecoming way, and she continues to make statements and allegations about the PNP leader, who is her leader and her president. And according to her, she will not fall in line, nor will she adhere to anything that is said in regards to her respecting the office of presidency. It should also be noted that many recommend that a senior member of the party who is close to Phillips have a discussion with Venetia about her behavior and her continued divisive utterances, so as to see if they can help her on the path of change, acceptance. It is quite unfortunate for her that she was beaten twice in 2 general elections. The people of St. Andrew Eastern have decided to turn to favor Williams in both of those recently concluded general elections, one in 2016 and the other in September 2020. It is also commendable that the Parliament has chosen to move the local government elections to 2022 because Venetia Phillips may have encountered another crushing defeat that may have pushed her out of representational politics for good. The PNP is not in need of these individuals who continue to display their divisive nature publicly. Therefore, many recommend that Mark Golding put in place an initiative to help these persons to move on and to heal. Members of the National Executive Council will make a critical decision, and their choice was to elect the General Secretary and the Chairman, and they chose Philip Paulwell and Dr. Dayton Campbell. They can only wait and see, as history has been rewritten by Mark Golding. He is the new president, and Dr. Dayton Campbell is the General Secretary. Both of these individuals will be working closely, but it makes you wonder what will Paulwell be doing whilst they are working together to build back the unity and lead the party on a victorious path. He has taken over from Dr. Angela Brown Burke, whom Mark Golding had previously endorsed for the post of chairperson. And many believe that this will be a David and Goliath fight, as Philip Paulwell has been in the party for a long time, and Mark Golding seems to have only arrived. But let's see, will this be the PNP Philistines' war? Will they be able to at some point come to a decision and work together in unison? One of the truest tests of Mark Golding's presidency will be whether or not the National Executive Council chooses to honor his choices for chairman and general secretary. And they only managed to honor his request by 50%. They chose to give the chairmanship to someone from Lisa Hanna's camp. Dr. Dayton Campbell was the best choice of the three names that were being thrown about in the. He also believed that former Vice President Philip Paulwell should not have challenged for the post of chairman, but he has managed to secure a victory. And he is no longer Vice President, he is now the chairman of the party. He has achieved his heart's desire. Now, what will he do with that chairmanship post? We hope that he will be working with the president towards ensuring that loyalty takes over from the divisiveness that currently exists within the PNP. Very sad that many tried to use the chairman and general secretary elections of the People's National Party to attempt to rerun the leadership race for the PNP. Mark has not been the president of the party for a month as yet, and there are challenges from all angles, and the office of presidency has zero respect in the eyes of many. Therefore, the National Executive Council should have allowed Mark Golding the opportunity to have the chairman of his choice. However, they chose to go with Philip Paulwell. Philip Paulwell was already vice president. The post of chairman is not greater than that of vice president. Therefore, there has to be an hidden agenda. He has been credited with the extremely excellent work that he did in providing technological and telecommunications revolutions in Jamaica. And he worked on establishing 5 IT centers in St. Andrew West Rural. However, he has just found himself in a position where I think he wants to become president, and he's starting out as the chairman. He targeted the leadership in 2018 when he went up against Dr. Angela Brown Burke for the post of vice president, and he managed to win. And yesterday, he challenged her for the post of chairman, and he won again. So it seems he keeps proving that he can better anyone for any post that he challenges them for. So when the conference comes around, will he be issuing a challenge to Mark Golding? Well, one will never know. We just have to wait and see. I hope that they will work together and not work to undermine the new president of the People's National Party. But this is the People's National Party we're speaking of. They are known for their divisive nature, and the leopard will not change its skin at any point in time. So it seems like this is an all-out war within the party. And there will be more to come. There will be more statements, and there will be more outward behavior that will signal that they are not in line with the decision that was made by the delegates, nor the decision that was recently made by the National Executive Council. Leave your comments down below. Let me know if you agree with Mark Golding that he is not tolerant of any corruption or any challenge to his authority. Of course, it is time that he stamps his class all across the presidency of the People's National Party. Thanks for watching and goodbye.